Hi everyone, it's Shari Carroll here with the Hero Arts 2014 Catalog Blog Hub with my card With Enough Coffee. I've created a clean and simple card using the Need Caffeine Clear Set and also the 5-line background, which is a really great woodblock background stamp. So to start my card off, I'll be using the Need Caffeine set, and it has so many fun things because I am such a coffee lover, so this was really dear to my heart. And I'm also using the ironically named Cup of Joe ink, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up this solid type stamp. I'll go over this several times to make sure I get really good coverage. It does have a little bit of a distress look to it, so when you're inking it up, you might see some holes in it, but that's supposed to be there. But once you have that inked, I'm going to go ahead and just stamp this onto some regular white Neenah cardstock, and I'll give it a good press. And I also like to push it around on my work surface just to make sure I have a really, really good impression. Once I'm ready, I can go ahead and pop that off. And this is a really easy one to cut out, so I'll just go ahead and use my scissors and cut around and leave a small white border. I have a panel of white Neenah cardstock here, and I'm using my anti-static bag to go ahead and run over that. And I'm using the 5-line background image, and I really love this. It reminds me of one of the patterns we used to do in architecture for soil. So I'll be inking up just part of this with my Versamark ink. I don't want to ink up the entire thing. Thought I'd try something different for the background on my card. So I'm just going to go in a general area, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab a baby wipe, and I'm going to wipe around so I don't have any sharp edges on the stamp. So I'll just go ahead and do this just kind of around my little pattern, kind of creating an oval shape. So once I have that cleaned up, I can go ahead and place my paper right on top, and I want to make sure I get this aligned really well so that the lines sit correctly with the edges of the paper, and I want to scoot this up just slightly. And once I'm happy with where I want that, I'm going to go ahead and just press that down slightly with my fingers. I'm grabbing a sheet of paper. Sorry, it was in my drawer, and I'll go ahead and just press this down, and this will give me my impression. And by doing it backwards this way, I can see exactly where that image is going to stamp onto my paper. So I'm going to press all around, and once I'm ready, I can go ahead and lift that off. I'll be embossing with my favorite white embossing powder, and this is the Hero Arts white powder, and I keep it in a container with a little spoon where I can just go ahead and pour it onto my card. And as you can see my pattern now, it's not perfect, but yet I have kind of round sides. At this point, I can clean off any of the powder that I don't want to have embossed before I heat set everything. And once I'm happy with my embossing powder, I can go ahead and use my Milwaukee heat tool. This is also from Hero Arts. This is my preferred heat tool for embossing. It gets in really good detail with the small tip. So I'll go ahead and just emboss that until that's ready. I'll be using my white embossing as a resist, and here I have the Ice Spruce Distress ink. And I'm using the small Sukaneko sponge dauber for my color application. I like this because it gives me a round edge. And I've measured up my little coffee panel that it's going to sit on top. I want to make sure I get color sitting around it. So I'll just go ahead and continue going in swirls until I get the right amount of color that I want. I've wrapped my panel with some hemtique twine. I really like this twine a lot, and I've wrapped it around 3 times, and it just kind of crisscrosses in the back. And I've also created a double bow by doing a figure 8 with my twine back and forth 2 times, and then securing it with a extra piece of twine in the center. And then I secured it at the knot on my card with some glossy accents. And so that things don't slip around on the back and everything stays secure, I'm just going to add a little piece of tape here, and this is actually medical tape, just had it handy. So I just can go ahead and press that down, and that'll keep everything from moving around. I've added a few foam squares to the back of my little coffee label here, and this will just sit just underneath that bow, and it's kind of straddling that string that's going around the card. So I'll just go ahead and line this up and then press that down in place. I have mounted my panel onto a top folding card, and here I'm adding some final details, and this is the Kelly Perky silver sequins, and I'm just adding a little drop of glossy accents, and then I can just press the sequins right onto my glue. And here's another look at my finished card, and thank you for joining me for the Hero Arts 2014 Catalog Blog Hub. Thanks for watching.